From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the morning news for November 10th, 2025. These are the stories we are reporting at this hour. U.S. airlines canceled more than 2,100 flights on Sunday as Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warned that air traffic across the nation could slow to a trickle if the federal government shutdown lingers into the busy Thanksgiving travel holiday season. The slowdown at 40 of the nation's busiest airports is now in its third day, beginning to cause more widespread disruptions. The FAA last week ordered flight cuts at the nation's busiest airports, and some air traffic controllers who have gone unpaid for nearly a month have stopped showing up for work. In addition, some 7,000 flight delays were reported on Sunday alone, according to FlightAware, a website that tracks air travel disruptions. More than 1,000 flights were canceled Friday and more than 1,500 on Saturday. The FAA reduction started at 4% on Friday and will increase to 10% by November 14th. They are in effect from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. local time and will impact all commercial airlines. Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta had the most cancellations Sunday with more than 570, followed by Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey with at least 265. In Georgia, weather could also be a factor, with the National Weather Service office in Atlanta warning of widespread freezing conditions through Tuesday. Freezing conditions, listen to them. Up here in Pennsylvania, we've got a lake effect snow warning in southern Erie County. I don't want to hear about freezing conditions. Next, the Trump administration. Well, President Donald Trump's administration is demanding states undo full SNAP benefits paid out under judges' orders last week, now that the U.S. Supreme Court has stayed those rulings, marking the latest swing in a seesawing legal battle over the anti-hunger program used by 42 million Americans. 1.1 million of them are college students. The demand from the U.S. Department of Agriculture came as more than 24 states warned of catastrophic operational disruptions if the Trump administration does not reimburse them for those SNAP benefits they authorized before the Supreme Court stay. Nonprofits and Democratic attorneys general sued to force the Trump administration to maintain the program in November despite the ongoing government shutdown. They won favorable rulings last week, leading to the swift release of benefits to millions in several states. And the Trump administration belatedly said the program could continue. However, on Friday night, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson temporarily paused the two rulings, ordering the SNAP disbursement while the nation's highest court considered the Trump administration's appeal. Well, that led the Department of Agriculture on Saturday to write state SNAP directors to warn them it now considers payments under the prior orders unauthorized. In response to the U.S. Supreme Court ruling, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro said, he said in a press release anyway, following a federal judge's order requiring the Trump administration to pay SNAP benefits, the Shapiro administration worked quickly to drive out SNAP benefits to Pennsylvanians who've been waiting the longest for their benefits. Pennsylvanians who receive benefits on their EBT cards are able to spend them. The Trump administration appealed the judge's decision to stop hungry Pennsylvanians from getting the food assistance they need, and as we were working to process these payments on Friday night, the Supreme Court temporarily paused those payments. Well, the Shapiro administration continues to work over the weekend to prepare for the court's ultimate decision and will work quickly once the court rules. It's incredibly cruel and cold-hearted that Donald Trump and his administration, who, by the way, are stuffing their faces full of food, are literally doing everything they possibly can to stop us from helping 2 million Pennsylvanians put food on the table. You know, I've stopped thinking that Trump reminds me of Adolf Hitler. He doesn't. He reminds me of Joseph Stalin. He would rather have everyone go hungry than make sure that the richest nation on the planet is able to feed its people. That's personally what I think. President Donald Trump has named Andrea Lucas as chair of the country's top workplace civil rights agency, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the agency announced Thursday. The move signals a vote of confidence for Lucas's efforts to stamp out diversity programs, roll back protections for transgender workers, and prioritize religious rights in the workplace. I'm honored to be designated chair of the EEOC, Lucas said in an emailed statement Thursday. Under the Trump administration, the commission has made significant progress advancing its core mission to uphold our nation's civil rights laws and protect American workers through consistent and effective enforcement. As chair, I remain committed to enforcing the law even-handedly, advancing equal opportunity, and upholding merit-based colorblind equality in America's workplaces. Except, bitch, you forgot about the Bostock v. Clayton ruling, okay? That came from the U.S. Supreme Court. You might want to brush up on your law before you take over as EEOC chair. Trump elevated Lucas to acting chair in January and in an unprecedented move, fired 2 Democratic commissioners, clearing the way to establish a Republican majority in the agency. The Senate last month confirmed Trump pick Brittany Panuccio as a commissioner, restoring the EEOC to the full power needed to deepen his overhaul of civil rights enforcement. Good luck, folks. You're going to need it. In a shakeup of the agency's prior focus, the EEOC under Lucas's leadership has taken on several religious discrimination cases, including a charge against the Mayo Clinic alleging it refused to grant a security guard's request for a religious accommodation to a mandatory COVID-19 vaccination policy. Good luck, folks. COVID-19 is going to spread like there is no tomorrow. The hospital system did not immediately reply to a request for comment. Folks, that's enough news for 1 hour. I'm sorry, I've had it. If you are watching our videos on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Crawford County weather forecast here on PEP Radio.